The Eldridge mining site had one rule etched into every wall, every locker, and every contract. Never dig beyond level 12. No one questioned it, not after the collapse 20 years ago that took the lives of 15 men without a trace of their bodies. But when Logan Pierce, a young and ambitious project manager, was assigned to oversee operations, he saw the rule as superstition. "There's gold beneath 12. I saw the seismic scans myself," he said to his team, brushing aside the nervous glances and silent warnings. Despite the older workers' reluctance, Logan's authority, and the company's pressure, won. Within 2 days, drills descended to carve out level 13. The new level was unlike any others. Rock darker than pitch, unnaturally smooth in some places, and bitterly cold. Equipment malfunctioned. Lights flickered. Radios picked up static, followed by incomprehensible whispers. Logan ignored it all. Coincidence. Faulty wiring. We've got work to do. Then came the scratching. Workers reported hearing nails scraping from behind the rock walls. Others saw things, shadows in the shape of hands or eyes watching from dark corners. One miner, Halverson, was found staring at the wall, mumbling, "It's awake. We weren't supposed to wake it." Logan ordered deeper excavation. The drill bit snapped on something hard, but it wasn't rock. Behind it was a door, an ancient metallic seal, etched with symbols no one could recognize. Against all warnings, Logan forced it open. Inside was a cavern filled with carvings, depicting humans kneeling before a colossal figure with a skull for a face and limbs like tree roots. In the center of the room was a massive pit, so dark it swallowed light. As Logan approached it, a voice echoed, not in the air but inside his skull. "You dug too deep, child of surface." One by one, workers began vanishing. Screams echoed through the tunnels, but their sources were never found. Equipment melted, light bulbs burst, and the ground began to tremble. Logan, now frantic, tried to lead a retreat, but level 13 was shifting. Corridors warped. Paths led back to where they started. The mine had become a maze, and it was closing in. In the final moments, Logan reached the pit again. From its depths rose a shape, impossibly tall, humanoid but wrong in every way. Its face was faceless, but it saw everything. He fell to his knees, eyes wide as the voice returned. "Greed always wakes the old ones." Weeks later, a rescue team descended into the mine. They found no bodies, only a sealed shaft. Level 13 no longer existed. Geological scans showed solid rock where it had once been, but sometimes, at night, the ground near the site trembles, and those who dare camp nearby hear whispers rising from beneath the earth. Level 13 was never meant to be opened. Black Hollow Mine sat hidden in the Appalachian Mountains, a remnant of an older, darker era. After a massive collapse in the 1980s that took 17 lives, most of the mine had been shut down. But in 2024, a corporation called Core Depth Industries reopened its lowest tunnels for resource extraction. To cut costs, the midnight shift was reduced to a single worker, one man, every night. Marcus Dell, a 32-year-old technician with few options in life, accepted the job without hesitation. Easy money, he told himself. Just monitoring pressure gauges, inspecting tunnel stability, and logging activity reports. His first few nights went fine. Quiet, lonely, and uneventful. But deep in the earth, things don't stay quiet for long. On his 6th night, Marcus noticed something strange. At exactly 12:13 a.m., one of the backup generators turned on by itself. No power failure, no trigger. Just a loud clunk, then the humming buzz that filled the tunnels like an unwanted breath. He shrugged it off. Faulty sensor, maybe. The next night, he saw muddy boot prints near the elevator shaft. Definitely not his. He hadn't been in that section all night. When he radioed the surface for a camera check, he got only static. By the end of that week, tools were being moved. Gauges were reset to 0. Someone or something was down there with him. He started hearing footsteps, not echoes. These were deliberate, heavy steps in the gravel. He would turn around, flashlight in hand. Nothing. And then came the voice. The first time he heard it, it came from the tunnel behind him, low and tired. "Still working?" Marcus froze. He shouted into the darkness, light trembling in his grip. No response, only the sound of dripping water and a faint hum from the mine's electrical systems. But the voice came back every night. "Why did you leave me here? Clock in. Clock out." Marcus couldn't sleep during the day. He started recording the noises on his phone. But when he played them back, the files were always corrupted. The mine was doing something to him, or maybe he was finally hearing what others had ignored for decades. On his 10th shift, Sector 7B's temperature sensors began to spike. Marcus followed the signal through a collapsed service tunnel until he found something that shouldn't have been there. An elevator shaft that wasn't on any map. The plaque on the gate read, "Level 0, restricted." The gate opened on its own. Driven by fear or curiosity, or both, Marcus descended. The shaft groaned with age. No lights, just the soft red glow of emergency bulbs. At the bottom was a section of the mine untouched by modern tools. Wood support beams from the early 1900s. Old carts filled with rusted picks. And deeper in, a chamber filled with sealed lockers, nameplates nearly scratched off. One of them read, "Marcus Dell, Shift Technician, 1987. He stumbled back, breath caught in his throat. It couldn't be. A mistake. A sick joke. But the photos pinned inside the locker were of him. But older. Or younger. It was hard to tell. A mining log listed daily shifts, stretching back almost 40 years. Every entry stamped 12 a.m. And in the final page, "Don't forget to check the pressure seals. Even the dead ones need to follow protocol." That's when the lights failed. From the tunnel behind him, something walked. A figure in a miner's suit, helmet light flickering. But its face was wrong. Like stretched wax, with hollow sockets for eyes. And it wore his badge. The voice came again. But now it was all around him. "We never leave the shift. Not really. You've been here before." He ran, but the elevator was gone. The tunnel looped back. Every path turned into another dead end. Black Hollow had folded in on itself. The next morning, the surface crew found the system normal. No anomalies, no missing equipment, except Marcus Dell never clocked out. His ID was still registered in the system, logging minor sensor checks every single night, without fail. When a new technician was hired to replace him, he asked during orientation, "Why do I have to work alone down there?" The supervisor only said, "You're not alone. Just don't listen to the whispers." And deep below, in level 0, Marcus continues his shift, checking the gauges, writing in the logbook, waiting for the next one. At Black Hollow Mine, the graveyard shift isn't just a phrase, it's a contract, one that never ends. The Harland Ridge Quarry was a forgotten site, decommissioned after a series of unexplained accidents in the late 90s. It was purchased recently by a private corporation looking to extract rare minerals beneath the deepest layers. They sent a small team to re-establish operations: engineers, geologists, and 6 miners. Among them was Cole Mathers, a quiet man who had worked mines his whole life. He wasn't superstitious like the others, but Harland Ridge was different. The mine didn't feel like stone. It felt like something older, watching. 3 days into the first dig, the team reached a strange layer. Dark stone that rang like metal when struck. It was smooth, veined, and warm to the touch. Too warm. That night, Cole heard the voice. It came through the wall, soft and slow. "Do you remember me?" He told no one, but every night the whispers grew louder. Not just voices, but thoughts that weren't his. Dreams of being crushed, buried, burned in the dark. When Cole woke up, his ears rang like bells had gone off inside his skull. Others began acting strangely too. One miner, Ellis, tried to dig through the stone wall with his bare hands, fingernails snapping off. Another, Juno, walked into the deepest shaft and just stared at the wall for hours, whispering back to it. The geologist, Dr. Kim, said the stone wasn't natural. "It's not listed in any mineral records," she muttered while analyzing samples. "It's hollow, like something's inside it." Then she disappeared. Cole tried to leave. He climbed to the top of the access tunnel and begged the foreman to pull the team out. But the radios were dead. The elevator didn't respond. And outside, a storm raged strong enough to ground helicopters for days. Trapped below, the crew deteriorated fast. Some wandered off and never came back. One man began speaking in a language no one recognized, carving symbols into his own skin that looked like the veins in the rock. Cole heard the voice again, clearer now, in his own voice. "You were part of us once, before the stone broke." He started seeing flashes of another life. Chained hands, endless digging, voices screaming from the walls. He remembered none of it, but he felt it. He returned to the core chamber where the stone had first been struck. Only now, the wall was pulsing, like a heartbeat in stone. Cole stood, hand trembling, and touched it again. A surge of memories, not his, rushed through his mind. People sealed alive, chanting, sacrifice. The quarry had once been a temple. The stone was never meant to be broken. It was a prison. Dr. Kim hadn't vanished. She was in the wall. Her face, stretched and silent, could be seen beneath the thin rock, as if screaming behind glass. Cole stumbled back. That's when the others came. The remaining miners, dead-eyed, silent, no longer themselves. The stone had taken them. Cole ran, not to escape, but to destroy it. He retrieved explosives from the supply room, enough to collapse the entire chamber. He set the charges and took one final look at the wall. The face in the stone smiled. A whisper brushed his ear. "You are home now." He triggered the detonator. Light. Roaring collapse. Then, silence. A month later, a corporate press release claimed a seismic event destroyed Harland Ridge. No survivors, no bodies. But late at night, hikers near the ridge hear things, voices beneath their feet. Sometimes it sounds like screaming, other times, like laughter. And if you put your ear to the right rock, you might hear a whisper. "We remember you, Cole." Some things aren't buried to be found, some are buried to be forgotten. But stone never forgets, and neither do the voices inside it.